Think about this for a second. That package on your doorstep, the food in your grocery store. How did it get there? Trucks. And right now, the trucking industry has this huge, gaping problem. It's bleeding young drivers. Now, this isn't just their problem. It's a problem that's going to hit every single one of us. So let's get into why. So, the big question is, what's really going on here? You might think, oh, it's about the pay, or, the long hours. But the real story, especially when you look at the youngest generation of drivers, is so much deeper, and honestly, way more surprising than that. All right, get ready for this number, 60%. That is the percentage of brand new Gen Z drivers who quit within the first 90 days. Just let that sink in. More than half of the fresh, young talent is gone almost as soon as they start. For any industry, that's not just a leak, it's a full-blown crisis.
So, why this mass exodus? Well, it really boils down to this one big thing, a massive disconnect. It's like the trucking industry and its future workforce are speaking two completely different languages. And the result? This incredible drain of talent. And this right here, this is the heart of that communication gap. For decades, trucking job ads have all screamed the same thing. Drive more, earn more. It's all about the miles and the money. But Gen Z? They're showing up and asking totally different questions. They're asking, what's the purpose here? Is there room for me to grow? Is this a place where I'll actually belong? It's a total mismatch. And then, even if they do get hired, the reality on the ground often pushes them right back out the door. Just imagine it. You're new, you're excited, and you get thrown into the job with a terrible onboarding process, no clear structure, nothing. You're out there on the road feeling completely and utterly alone, and that stress just keeps piling up. Is it any wonder they just ghost their employers and disappear?
All of this leads to what you could call the 90-day cliff. And it's not some gentle slope either. It's a sudden, sharp drop-off. That first 3-month period is absolutely critical, and it's where companies are losing the war for their future workforce at a huge, huge cost.
And just to get in the door, a driver needs what's called a CDL, a commercial driver's license. This is their professional ticket to ride, and it takes specialized training and testing. So for the driver, it's already a pretty significant investment of their own time and money. Now flip the coin. Companies look at this situation and see a massive financial risk. Why would you invest thousands in training and payroll for a new driver who has a 60% chance of just leaving in a few months? So a lot of companies just decide it's not worth the gamble, which, you guessed it, only makes the driver shortage even worse.
Okay, so the situation seems pretty bleak, right? But here's the pivot. A new playbook is starting to emerge, a dual strategy solution that's designed to fix this whole mess from both ends, how you attract drivers in the first place and how you actually get them to stay.
And the core idea is actually pretty simple, but it's powerful. Recruit with empathy and retain with structure. It means first, you have to actually understand what this new generation wants and needs. And second, you have to give them the support system and a clear path so they don't just fall right off that 90-day cliff.
So let's break this new strategy down. It really comes down to 3 key phases: recruit, de-risk, and retain. Each one is designed to tackle a specific piece of the problem we've been talking about. First up, recruiting. It's simple, really. If you want to attract a different kind of worker, you have to start talking to them differently. It's all about making a better first impression before they've even filled out an application.
So what does that actually look like? Well, you rewrite those old job ads. Instead of just money, you talk about mentorship, about being part of a team. You team up with local career centers to find motivated young people who are actually looking for a solid career path. And, this is a big one, you start building that relationship before day one, with things like welcome videos and guides so they show up feeling confident, not lost. It's all about showing you actually care.
Okay, next, you got to tackle that financial fear we were talking about. How does a company take a chance on an entry-level driver when the odds look so bad? Well, this is where a really clever partnership comes into play. It's a government program called WIOA. Now, don't worry about the acronym. All you need to know is that it's a program designed to help businesses train new workers for jobs that are in high demand. And guess what? Trucking is definitely an in-demand job.
And here it is. This is the absolute game changer. These WIOA partnerships can cover up to 100% of a new driver's salary for those critical first 90 days. All of a sudden, that huge financial risk for the company, poof, it's gone. They can bring on new talent, see if they're a good fit, and give them a real shot without making this massive financial gamble.
So, you've recruited them the right way, and you've de-risked the whole hiring process. Now for the final, and honestly, the most important piece of this puzzle, actually keeping them. And this requires a real, intentional framework for success.
And that framework rests on these 4 key pillars. It starts with RAMP, which is just a structured onboarding plan that gives them clarity from the very first day. Next is Root, which is all about building a community with peer groups and regular check-ins to fight off that feeling of isolation. Then you have Reward, where you celebrate the small wins to keep them motivated. And finally, Retain, where you show them a clear career path with mentors so they see a real future, not just a dead-end job.
And when you put all of these pieces together, the empathetic recruiting and the structured retention, you really do start to build a totally different and much more hopeful road to the future for the entire industry.
And the payoff here is huge. Remember that 60% turnover rate? It drops, and it drops dramatically. Company costs go way down, but way more importantly, you start to build this loyal, engaged workforce of young drivers who actually feel valued. You create a sustainable pipeline of talent that can carry the whole industry forward.
So it really leaves us with this one big thought. Yeah, this is a story about trucking, but the lesson here is pretty universal, isn't it? What if the real key to solving our biggest workforce challenges isn't just throwing more money at people? What if it's about fundamentally redesigning the very beginning of their journey? What if the key to the future of work is simply a better, more human first 90 days?